Welcome to the Athlete to Athlete series. My name is Rennie Kern. I'm a former professional athlete, speaker, leadership coach, and the founder of the Game Changers Foundation. Our mission is to help current and former athletes in sports, business, and life. Each week, we'll be bringing you top former athletes to share tips, tools, and strategies to help you change the game on and off the field. Our series is made possible through our amazing sponsors, the Sports Turf Company. So our next guest is actually a female football player straight out of Houston. She actually transferred from Houston to Milton High School in her high school days, and she started out playing track, and now she is not only a female football player professionally, but she's also an entrepreneur who has amazing advice to give you all. So welcome onto the show, Santia Deck. Santia, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So glad to have you on. I know you're staying busy. I really appreciate you taking the time to just join us and offer some knowledge.
Of course.
Yeah, so I'd love for you to just start out with just telling us about your high school days back in Milton. I know you ran track before you got into football and everything, but just tell us a little bit about your background.
So I moved to Atlanta 2009. And I actually graduated 2010. So I spent my senior year at Milton, which was a heck of an experience, I guess. If you're gonna go to high school in Georgia, Milton is pretty up there when it comes to like just the sports, the education, everything. So I had a lot of fun. It was definitely a different experience than what I had when I was in Houston. Our football team was really, really good at that time. Our basketball team was like extremely good at that time. And our track team was pretty good too. So I had a lot of fun running track. The coaches are all really, really good. The girls are all really, really talented. So I had a really good experience at Milton.
Nice. And you mentioned just transitioning, going from Houston to Milton, being in a completely different environment your senior year. That's got to be an extremely tough just move and whatnot. So, along with that, can you just talk about a major challenge that you faced during your high school days and how you were able to overcome it?
Yeah, I was pretty angry at my parents when I moved to Atlanta because I'm like, really, y'all are gonna make me graduate with people that I don't even really know. To be honest, not even interested in making friends when I first went to high school. I went to Milton, but obviously, like I said, all the people were really cool and really supportive. So I ended up making a ton of friends. But I think just adjusting to a different environment. I was in a different city. I was in a different school. I didn't know any of the girls that I was running track with, which I was used to having my team and everything. So just trying to get that chemistry down with my teammates and stuff like that. And then just regular high school stuff. I had I had a boyfriend at that time. So trying to figure out how to do all that long distance stuff in high school.
Yeah.
I dealt with a lot of different things, but I think it was the best decision because Milton offered me a lot.
Wow, no, that's amazing. And we all have that moment as athletes, right? That kind of moment where we feel like we've arrived or where we, know that something is special, something is different that we possess. What was that moment like for you? Was it a track meet or was it a certain play that you can remember when it came to football that just made you say, man, I think I got something?
Yeah, I would say, honestly, when I started playing flag football, I think that's when I realized like, oh, wow, like I'm more than just a runner. I have like this agility thing that I didn't know I had in me. I might have glimpses when I was a kid, because I was a tomboy, I had, twin brother and everything. But I think seeing it in like at full scale, being able to cut on a dime and juke people and, vision was really, I have really good vision, for a girl who never played football like in high school or anything like that. But I think flag football kind of exposed that talent that I didn't know I had.
Yeah, love it, love it. And for any athletes, we got plenty of them watching around the state of Georgia right now who are trying to get to the level that you're at. What's some advice that you would give just for any of those who are trying to get to that next level?
I would say if you want to go get it, that's like my motto for like everything in life, including sports. It takes a lot of work. I think people, they see like professional athletes or high level athletes, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. Like you have all these opportunities, you have all this attention, but I think people forget how much goes into like preparing and actually getting to that next level. So, it takes a lot more than just showing up every day. takes staying late, showing up early sometimes, missing out on partying sometimes, or going to the movies with your friends or whatever it may take. I sacrificed a lot to get here. Even now I still do it at 29. So
Right.
I think it's all about how much are you willing to give up to get what you want. And that's kind of what I would say, because that's what I know I had to do to get here.
Definitely. Love it. Love it. And I know, football is extremely fun, right? Like there's so many things that we do, whether it is our pregame ritual or just our songs that we play before the game. So tell me what your pregame ritual is like. Like, take me into the locker room with Santia. What's that like?
Man, so I'm probably the most chill football player ever, because I have such a mellow personality. Even on the field, I'm like mellow, but I'm still like aggressive in a way, I guess. But like I always have my headphones on. So like I'm a very serious, like focused person when it comes to sports. And then when I leave, I'm like the life of the party or whatever. But when I'm like in that mode of like, okay, it's game day, or I know we got a terrible practice today, like I got my headphones on, I'm listening to whatever music I'm playing at that time. And I'm just tuned into like what I got to do, what I got to take care of. So I'm one of those more serious athletes. I know some people are like goofy, and I'm like the one that's serious, to be honest.
Right. Love it. Love it. And just transitioning now onto your off the field activities. I mean, you're somebody that does so many things off the field. You're an entrepreneur. I mean, you've written a book. I mean, you've done so much. What advice would you give to those athletes out there as they start to think about their off the field life and building that brand? And then tell us also about some of the things that you're doing off the field as well.
Yeah, I would say utilize your platform while you have one. Don't wait till you're done to try to figure out, okay, what can I do now? I always say during your off season, start investing, start trying to build a business, get into the speaking world, because there's so many people around the world, kids, adults, everybody that want to hear from how did you become this athlete? What did it take? Because everybody knows you have to be a different breed, a different type of person to even be an athlete. So I would say utilize your talents and your image and everything while you can.
Right.
Like I said, get an LLC, if you can. But yeah, get some ownership in some things. And I do a lot. So I own a shoe company. I made history by becoming the first female athlete to own her own shoe company, which is Tronus. I'm a speaker. I'm a published author. I'm actually in the process of writing another book, so be on the lookout for that.
Right.
I am about to launch a CBD company and an e-learning company. And I'm a social media influencer, so I do a ton of campaigns. So I I
Right.
definitely realize, my talents and my image. I remember one thing one of my football coaches told me in LFL that's like honestly like really pushed me to just become even more so entrepreneurish, was when he said, don't like use the game, don't let it use you.
Right.
Because as we all know, until recently, even in college, you were being used, but you didn't get no money from it. So when he said that, it was like, yes, give everything you got to this game, but make sure you're taking something with you when you leave. And I think that's something that they don't teach too many athletes. I wouldn't even say that. I just think athletes are so focused on their sport that they
Right.
forget, okay, I do have a life after this. So I would just say use it while you can, because it's a short window. I mean, it might seem like a long time, but like, once you hit that field, you look up and you've been in a game for 5, 6, 7 years, and then, you might be done. Definitely running backs. So, just think about that while you're in it and while you're hot and why, people care.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. While people care, I mean, capitalize. Exactly
Mhm.
right. So how can those athletes watching right now get in touch with you, support your shoes and everything else?
You can follow me on Instagram, which is trackbaby001. You can go to my website, tronosofficial.com, to check out my shoes. And then if you want to just know what's going on in my life, updates, things like that, you can go to queenofapps.com.
Awesome. Well, Santia, thanks so much for being on the show. Always appreciate your support and all that you do. Keep up the great work. Keep killing it on the field and off the field. So thanks for being on the Game Changers Athlete to Athlete show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Athlete to Athlete, presented by Sports Turf Company and the Game Changers Foundation.